Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby with Fitness is Medicine, and today I'm going to give you another full body workout that you can do. We're going to mix it up today and work some different muscles. First, we're going to start with a straight arm lat pull. So we're going to use some bands, a small weight. So if you have a small weighted ball or a small dumbbell, and then we're going to use some dumbbells for some biceps and some shoulder press. So grab a weight if you think you have one that would work for both of those, and then a ball and some cups. So we're going to do a balance exercise just using some plastic cups. So go ahead and grab those and then press pause. Make sure you're warmed up before you start these, and I'm going to go through all of these one time. I want you to repeat it at least a couple more times after I'm finished. Okay, so we're going to start with a straight arm lat pull. And we're just going to use, I have my tube set up with my handles, but you can use a band as well, just as easily. But what I want you to do is we're going to do this in a tandem stance. We have a little bit of balance to start. Put your hands about chest height, and then you're just going to pull them straight to your hips. So this is another way to work those lats. You know, we can do them, the last time we did them by pulling straight back with a flat back. You can do them by sitting, if, you know, lat pull machine if you have one. But this is another easy way to work it with bands, and you don't need quite as much resistance, so you can still get a really good resistance workout for those big muscles in your back. And one more. You'll also maybe feel it a little bit in your abs from keeping that really strong core while you're doing that. Okay, next we're going to do some side lunge reaches. So grab a small medicine ball. If I was in my gym, I would use my 4 or 6 pounder, but I have a small weight, a 5 pounder here that I'm going to use. Or you can just use you can even just use a tennis ball or nothing if you don't have anything small like that. But what I want to do is start with your feet together, the weight in one hand, and we're going to step with the opposite hand. So to begin with, if you know that lunges hurt your hips or your knees, you could just start by doing a little side reach and weight transfer. So you're going to transfer out to the side, reach with that weight. All right, that's the way to begin. And if you feel like you can do a little bit of a lunge, you can kind of go a little bit deeper and reach. So just kind of sit those hips back a little bit. You don't have to do a really big range of motion, but we're sitting those hips back. And then if you would like to go all the way into a good full lunge, sit back, reach that weight towards the floor, and bring it back up. So in order to keep everything in good alignment, you want to take a really big step. Sit those hips back so your knees stays over your ankle, and we really work those quads and your glutes. So we'll reach right over that toe with that weight, and I'm going to do one more. So whichever level you've decided is a good challenge for you, go ahead and do 10 of those, and then we're going to switch sides. So you can also start at that first weight shift with a reach. I'm going to go ahead and go straight into the lunge. Whichever level you have decided feels best for you, stick with that. You could challenge yourself by going into that a little bit deeper of a lunge if you would like to give it a try. And if everything feels good and there isn't any joint pain, then go ahead and try a few. You could even just try 5, because this is a really big, large muscle movement that can be pretty hard if you're not used to doing these. So step out. This other leg here, you'll notice, stays straight. So it's not a squat. It's a good lunge. You're sitting back, sitting that hip back, knees staying as much over your ankle as you can, and you're really putting your weight through that heel when you step over. All right, let's do 2 more. Get that good reach and come on up. Okay, next we're going to do biceps into shoulder press. So I'm going to use dumbbells. And again, I want you to stand in a tandem stance. I always want to be challenging that base of support. So we're going to bicep and then push straight overhead, shoulder press. Now we want to do these slowly. Turn, press. And then when you come down from that bicep curl, make sure your arms go all the way straight. Press. Many times people stop here and then go up again. But you want to go all the way straight, working that muscle through the whole range of motion. I'm going to stop at 5 here. If you have dumbbells, keep going. I'm going to show you how you can do this with a band. So if you don't have any dumbbells to use for this, you can use a band and stand on it. It's still using that tandem stance. And do a good bicep curl. It's going to be hard to do the combination with a band. Many times the resistance that you need for that biceps curl is going to be too much then to press up overhead. Plus, many times you don't have that full range of motion, a long enough band available for that. So we can go ahead and do all those bicep curls with the band like that, and then sit on the band and do a press overhead instead. So you can do that either way. That way, if you do not have dumbbells, you can still do the full exercise by just breaking it down into 2 exercises instead of 1. Okay, next we're going to do side crunches on a ball. So what I want you to do is sit on that ball, and if you're not stable on a ball, do it next to a sturdy chair, or you can even do it next to a wall. Many times I recommend that when you do this exercise, you can put your feet up against a wall anyway, because it gives you a lot more stability so your feet aren't sliding out from under you, particularly if you're doing this on, like a really low pile carpet or on tile or hardwood floor or something where your feet are going to be sliding. Do it up against the wall. You can put your feet straight up against the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn over onto my hip like this. And then, here we go. You can start here, lean back, and come up. So you want to kind of turn your torso towards the front. So you're coming up this way, but your hip is over on the ball. So we can start this way. Remember, you can put those feet right up against a wall. If this feels okay, go ahead and bring your hands here. And just come straight up, bringing that chest. You kind of want to turn your chest so you're coming straight, even though your hip is over on the ball. All right, now we're going to switch sides. So you can kind of sit up on the ball and then get your other hip on the side of that ball. And then turn your chest towards the front. Figure out where's a good spot for your feet. My feet are sliding here. I can't do it against the wall with this camera. You should be feeling that really here in your obliques. So that's part of your abdominal and your core. All of that helps with balance and stability. Okay, 9 and 10. Okay, now get those cups out. We're going to do a little balance exercise with 3 cups. And so what I want you to do is set them on the ground, kind of in a little bit of a triangle, and you're going to stand next to them. Do this next to a kitchen counter or a sturdy kitchen chair or something that you can hang on to with your opposite hand. And what I want you to do is you're going to stand on the leg that's furthest from the cups, and you're going to tap that cup, come back, tap out to the side, come back, and then tap to the rear, and then come back. So if you can, don't set that foot down in between. Now if you need to, that's okay. Tap, tap. You could set it down in between if that's going to help you to be able to do this. But challenge yourself. One thing that's important is when you're doing that single leg stance, that you keep your hips level. You don't want to sit over into this hip. You got to keep these muscles strong and engaged. Keep those hips level as you're going through this. And if you feel yourself kind of coming out to the side, stop, Reset, get those hips level, make them work. This is another part of the single leg stance exercises. It's a really big hip stabilizer. Balance is more than just about our feet and ankles. It's all the way up. It's our core, it's our hip strength. It's a lot of different things. All right, I'm gonna do one more each way. And nice and slow, you'll notice if you're doing this at home, that if you're having trouble doing it fast, might feel like you're, okay, if I do it fast, I can do it. I'd rather have you slow down and take your time and just do a few. So tap, tap, tap. I'd rather always have you do just a few with good form, and that's really challenging the muscles that are supposed to be working, rather than rushing through it and using poor form and either hurting something or just really not getting the full benefit of the exercise. So we're going to tap. Try to do it 5 times through. And again, if you're really struggling with this, do it next to something stable, next to something, like a kitchen chair or a kitchen counter, something that you'll be able to really grab onto if you do lose that balance. Okay, we're going to end with mountain climbers. So on the floor, there's a couple different ways we can do this. To start, actually, if you've never done a mountain climber, you can use your coffee table or even a kitchen chair and kind of go into a plank. Remember, you want your shoulders right over your ankle, right over your wrists, and you're going to bring your knee towards your chest. So do it elevated to start if you think this might be challenging. If you think you can, lower to the floor. We're going to come up in a plank and drive your knee towards your chest. And we're going to do this 10 times on each leg. 6, 7. However, if this is really challenging you and you're feeling like it's difficult, do 5 and then rest. And then when you are done, sometimes sitting back in a child's pose like this feels really good after push-ups or planks or anything involving all of those shoulder muscles. Take some nice deep breaths. Okay, go ahead and do those all through again. Remember to complete the whole session with a good stretch. So make sure you're stretching out those arms and those shoulders and the chest and your legs. Make sure you follow all the way through with all of those so that you can help avoid some muscle pain or muscle fatigue later. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and make comments either on the video or on my Facebook page, or you can private message me anytime and let me know if any of these have caused you any pain, or you just can't figure out a way to do it in your home. I can give you lots of ideas. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.